What if the richest place on planet Earth isn't in Dubai, isn't in Silicon Valley, isn't in any bank vault, but in your local cemetery? Dr. Myles Munroe said something that stopped me cold. The graveyard is the richest place on Earth because it's filled with dreams that were never pursued, books that were never written, songs that were never sung, inventions that were never shared, cures that were never discovered. The question is, are you going to add to that wealth? Or are you going to die empty? Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into what might be Dr. Myles Munroe's most urgent, most passionate message, dying empty. This isn't about death itself, it's about how you live. It's about making sure that when you take your last breath, you leave nothing valuable inside you. No unused gifts, no unspoken words, no untaken risks, no unlived dreams. Because here's the sobering truth. Most people die full of potential they never released, full of gifts they never used, full of songs they never sang. And Dr. Monroe spent his life making sure that wouldn't be your story. So buckle up, because this message is going to challenge you, convict you, and hopefully change the trajectory of your entire life. Let me paint you a picture that Dr. Monroe would often share. Imagine walking through a cemetery, and every tombstone had an inscription not just of who died, but what died with them. This stone says, "Here lies a cure for cancer that was never discovered because this person was too afraid to pursue medical school." The next one says, "Here lies a book that would have changed millions of lives, but it stayed in this person's head because they thought they weren't a good enough writer." Another one, "Here lies a business that would have employed hundreds and blessed thousands, but this person played it safe and kept their 9 to 5. One more, "Here lies a voice that would have brought hope to the broken, but this person never believed their story mattered." That cemetery? It's every cemetery. Those people, they're everywhere. And the tragedy, the absolute heartbreak, is that they didn't have to die full. They chose to. Dr. Monroe would say, "Don't die with your music still in you, because when you die full, you don't just rob yourself, you rob the world." Somewhere, someone needed what was inside you. Someone needed your gift, your idea, your encouragement, your business, your art, your voice. Think about it. What if Mozart had died with his music still in him? What if Martin Luther King Jr. had kept his dream to himself? What if the Wright brothers had said, "Flying is too risky, let's just stick with bicycles"? The world would be poorer. And when you hold back what God put in you, the world becomes poorer too. So why do people die full? Why do we hold back our gifts, our dreams, our potential? Dr. Monroe identified several dream killers that keep us from emptying ourselves, and I'm willing to bet at least one of them is operating in your life right now. Dream killer number 1, fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of what people will think. Fear of looking foolish. Fear is the number 1 reason people take their gifts to the grave. They say, "What if I try and fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough?" But Dr. Monroe would flip that question. What if you don't try? What if you let fear rob the world of what only you can give? Dream killer number 2, comparison. You look at someone who's already doing something similar and you think, "Well, they're already doing it better than I could, so why bother?" But here's the truth. Nobody can deliver your gift the way you can. Your fingerprint is unique. Your voice is unique. Your perspective is unique. Dream killer number 3, perfectionism. You keep waiting until you're ready, until it's perfect, until the conditions are just right. But Dr. Monroe said, waiting for perfect conditions means you'll never start. Don't wait for perfect, start with possible. Dream killer number 4, procrastination. The most dangerous word in the human language is someday. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll share my story. Someday I'll pursue my dream. But someday isn't a day of the week. Someday means never. Dream killer number 5, other people's opinions. You're so worried about what people will say, what people will think, whether people will approve, that you sacrifice your calling on the altar of public opinion. Dr. Monroe said, "You'll never fulfill your purpose if you're addicted to people's approval." And dream killer number 6, this one's subtle but deadly comfort. You're not miserable enough to change. You're comfortable in your mediocrity. You have just enough success to not be desperate, just enough security to not take risks. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. Now let's talk about what it actually means to die empty. Because this isn't about running yourself into the ground or burning out. It's about something much more beautiful. Dr. Monroe taught that dying empty means you've fully expressed everything God put inside you. You've released every gift, shared every idea, taken every risk, spoken every truth, given every ounce of what you were created to give. Think of yourself as a tube of toothpaste. When you die, that tube should be completely squeezed out. Nothing left inside. You gave it all. Or think of yourself as a gift box. When you die, that box should be empty because you unwrapped every gift God placed in you and gave it to the world. Here's what dying empty looks like in practical terms. It means you've written the books that were in your heart, even if they're just journal entries or blog posts that helped one person. It means you've started the business, launched the ministry, created the art, built the thing that you kept dreaming about. It means you've said, "I love you," to the people who needed to hear it. You've forgiven the people you needed to forgive. You've had the hard conversations you kept avoiding. It means you've taken the risks that scared you. You've tried the things that might have failed. You've stepped out of your comfort zone into your calling zone. It means you've been generous with your knowledge, your time, your resources, your encouragement. You haven't hoarded anything, you've sowed everything. Dr. Monroe lived this way. He traveled the world teaching leadership and purpose. He wrote over 40 books. He mentored thousands of leaders. He built organizations, started schools, influenced nations. And when he died in that tragic plane crash in 2014, he died empty. His family said they looked through his belongings and found notebooks full of ideas he'd already executed, dreams he'd already fulfilled, visions he'd already accomplished. There were more ideas in those notebooks, but he'd given the world everything he possibly could in his 60 years. That's dying empty. That's the goal. So how do you make sure you die empty? How do you start releasing what's inside you right now? Dr. Monroe gave us a practical roadmap, and I'm going to break it down for you step by step. Step 1. Identify what's inside you. Take inventory. What gifts do you have? What ideas keep surfacing? What dreams won't leave you alone? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Write it all down. Make a list of everything you're carrying that needs to be released. Step 2. Stop waiting for permission. Nobody's going to come give you permission to fulfill your purpose. You have to give yourself permission. Dr. Monroe said, "Don't die with your permission slip still in your pocket. You're approved. You're authorized. You're equipped. Now go." Step 3. Start before you're ready. This is huge. You will never feel 100 ready. You'll never have all the resources. You'll never have perfect clarity. But start anyway. Take one step. Make one move. Write one page. Record one video. Have one conversation. Step 4. Do it scared. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Dr. Monroe said, "Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of fear." Your hands might shake. Your voice might tremble. Your heart might pound. Do it anyway. Step 5. Share generously. Don't hoard your knowledge, your ideas, your gifts. Give them away freely. Teach what you know. Share your story. Mentor someone. The more you pour out, the more God pours in. Step 6. Live urgently. Not frantically, but urgently. Recognize that your time is limited. None of us knows how long we have. So treat each day like it matters, because it does. Ask yourself daily, did I release something today? Did I give something away? Did I move closer to empty? And step 7, ignore the critics. There will always be people who don't understand, who criticize, who doubt. Dr. Monroe said, Don't let small-minded people talk you out of your big dreams. Let them talk. You keep walking. You keep working. You keep releasing. Let me tell you about David. At 67 years old, David was diagnosed with terminal cancer. The doctors gave him 6 months to live. Now, most people in that situation would shut down, give up, wait to die. But David had been deeply impacted by Dr. Monroe's dying empty message. He'd heard it years ago, and it had been haunting him because David realized he was about to die full. David had spent 40 years as an engineer, but his whole life he'd wanted to write. He had stories in his head, wisdom he'd gained, lessons he'd learned. But he'd always been too busy, too tired, too afraid. Now, with 6 months to live, David made a decision. I'm going to empty myself before I go. He started writing. For hours a day, every day. He wrote his memoir. He wrote letters to his children and grandchildren. He wrote about his faith journey. He recorded videos sharing life lessons. He reached out to people he'd hurt and asked forgiveness. He told people he loved them. He shared his testimony everywhere he could. When David died 8 months later, his family said he died with a smile on his face. At his funeral, they shared his writings. His grandson said, "Grandpa didn't die full. He gave us everything he had. He held nothing back." David's memoir has now been read by thousands in his community. His video messages are shown at his church. His letters are treasures his family reads over and over. David died empty. And because he did, the world is richer. You have that same choice. What are you going to do with it? All right, let's make this real for you right now. I want you to do something this week, not someday, this week, that starts emptying you. First, take out a piece of paper and write this at the top. What I'm not going to take to my grave. Then make 2 columns. Column 1. What's inside me that needs to come out. Column 2. What I'm going to do about it this month. Be specific. Not write a book someday, but write the first chapter by October 15th. Not start a business eventually, but research LLC requirements this week. Not share my testimony one day, but post my story on social media this Friday. Second, I want you to do one thing this week that scares you. Something you've been putting off because of fear. Make that phone call. Send that email. Post that video. Have that conversation. Sign up for that class. Submit that application. And third, I want you to share this video with someone who's playing small, who's holding back, who's living full when they should be emptying themselves. Tag them. Send them the link. Tell them, this is for us. Let's die empty together. Because the world needs what's inside you. And you're running out of time to give it. If this message is waking something up inside you, if you're feeling that holy urgency to stop holding back and start releasing, hit that like button and tell me in the comments. What's one thing you're not going to take to your grave? What's one gift, one dream, one idea you're committing to release? And listen, if you want to join a community of people who are committed to living fully and dying empty, who refuse to waste their potential and are determined to give the world everything God put inside them, subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. We're building a movement of people who will not be found in that cemetery with their music still in them. Join us. I want to leave you with Dr. Monroe's words that changed my life. The wealthiest place in the world is not the gold mines of South America or the oil fields of the Middle East. The wealthiest place in the world is the cemetery. In the cemetery, you will find inventions we were never exposed to, ideas and dreams that never became a reality, hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon. Don't add to that wealth. Don't take your gifts to the grave. Don't let fear, procrastination, or people's opinions rob the world of what only you can give. You were not created to play it safe. You were not created to die full. You were created to empty yourself, to pour out every ounce of potential, every gift, every dream, every idea until there's nothing left. So live urgently, risk boldly, give generously, love completely, speak truthfully, create fearlessly, and when your time comes, May you close your eyes with a smile, knowing you held nothing back. You died empty. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, go empty yourself. God bless you.